The advanced knife bro who occasionally talks in the first person using his YouTube name, even at home, is not above the purple knife craze. I've been looking for some pocket knives to beautifully coordinate with my flowing, violet-colored evening wear, so I can take social media photos for my millions of followers during my trips to dinner clubs in the city. And you thought Steven Seagal looked great in kimonos. It's not the hair dye that keeps his goatee black, it's the luxury of silk. So when Cedric Anadis showed a picture of a purple knife on his Instagram social media account, I knew I had to have one. I'm terrible with money too. The Laconico Keen is a shimmering piece of sharp pocket jewelry manufactured by We Knives that comes in gross, non-purple colors too, and with some real sharp Massdrop advertising on the blade. It's my hope, personally, that Amazon and Walmart start rebranding everything they sell with their names for things they don't make or design too. Until then, we have Massdrop. Anyway, since We Knives are kind of expensive, and I haven't got the $250 for the We 604, or it's on sale right now for $200, don't even have that, the $140 Keen looks good. It has nice simple lines, no damn compound grind, and most of all, comes in the purplest of knife colors. So let's take a look at the dimensions, like the overall length and weight. You'll notice this creeps over the 4-ounce mark for me. The purple makes it feel lighter though. Blade size and cutting edge. What's your favorite knife color? Handle size, grip area. The color that's on me is the only right answer. Spine and handle thickness. You know, I thought about making these lines purple too, but that would have taken a few extra minutes. And this is my least favorite part of the review. Tallness, flipper tab. Other than the writing and editing all my mistakes out of the voiceover, that's a part I hate too. And there's a lot of parts I hate about making the videos. The Keen, which comes in different handle variations and colors, is exactly the sort of knife I like, starting with the blade. I know I sound like a cretin, but I'm not so fond of tantos or any sort of compound grind if it affects the edge. All the knives I pocket carry with any regularity have simple, clean edges. While I understand tantos are perfect for your hard uses, piercing the armor of your samurai foe, and stabbing the hood of that Chevy Lumina in the abandoned lot next to your house, I find they hang up when they do basic cutting.
But what if you don't use your knives? Checkmate.
So yes on the Keen and no on this. And this. The Keen has a keen edge, had to say it once. It's slicey, and has a distraction-free flat grind made from S35 VN. By distraction-free, I'm ignoring the Massdrop word on the blade. What is that, 14 point? It doesn't follow any lines, and it's not really a clever logo. It's written how you would print your name on your underwear for summer camp. I mean, it's printed nicely, but who's going to steal your underwear? Also, have you tried Massdrop underwear? Taking a Massdrop in my Massdrops. The deployment is handled by a flipper, and the blade pivots on ceramic bearings, a standard in most expensive flippers nowadays, if you don't want internet knife guys to complain about steel bearings. So you get smooth, consistent deployments with minimal effort, even if you are a terrible human being. And sweet Lynn, the tab is free from any jimping. It's smooth and comfortable, and the blade rockets out. Lockup, handled by a frame lock or integral lock, integral. As real knife experts say, there's a hardened steel insert on the lock bar, which are kind of unnecessary depending on the manufacturer. If Chris Reeve doesn't need them, you don't either. I've heard several yarns spun on the internet where people wanted those inserts on their knives from other manufacturers but were unable to obtain them, rendering their knife unrepairable. Shouldn't have done that hard use, I guess. I'm not saying this will ever be a problem with this knife, it's just that it could be a false sense of security. And it is possible to fling it open when closed, even though the detent's like okay strong. It's hard to fling, but it's flingable outward, so that runs afoul of some gravity knife laws designed to fuel the prison industrial complex. Handle is from titanium, a right side, a left side, and a backspacer. The titanium, as you can tell, is anodized and oil sealed, which, okay, I had to read the website to see that it was oil sealed. I have no idea what that means, other than it's all purple the fuck out. While I do try and take care of my knives, I also unfortunately use them too. I don't know how rich and opulent the finish will stay over time, but it does seem to react to finger oil and change the luster and the color of the finish. Cheeto residue, pig rind grease, and urine also affect it. And now that I think about it, I wish that the screws and pivot were purple too. The hungry don't need to be fed for Christmas. I don't need a Ferrari. My student loans don't need to disappear. I just need purple screws on my goddamn knife, okay? The handle is super comfortable. No harsh edges or jimping. There's plenty of room for my hand or even those larger tactical ones. Clip. It ain't deep carry, but it's sure as shit purple and thin. It slides in the pocket easily with a little effort. However, there was an occasion or two, like one where I was on a swing set, and after jumping off the swing, it flew out of my pocket. Luckily, there were no children in front of me, or you would have seen my name in the news. A little over 6/10 of an inch sticks out of your pocket when it's in there. I picked up the normal person right-handed carry, but there is a left-handed option available that allows for a tip-up, blade backward in the left pocket for mutants. The standard version is tip-up, blade backward in the right pocket, and it's not swappable. So if you're a lefty and you want the faster deployment option, make sure you check it. Comparisons. I like purple knives, but unfortunately I can't afford a lot of them. The Keen is probably one of my top 3 folding knives this year. No, I don't try out everything Massdrops, but this one caught my eye, partly because it's made by We, and We makes good stuff. The company, not we as in like there's someone sitting here beside me, just me here. If I could change a few things about this knife to make it perfect other than not having to have paid for it, I'd remove the marketing campaign from the blade, make the pocket clip a little more traditional so it stays in the pocket more better, and maybe mill the inside of the frame to reduce weight. You can get the Keen with holes in the handles or lines on the side or like a single line, but I think they detract from its looks. Now my other purple knife, you know what, maybe it's blue. A clone Sinkevich Gearbest sent me a long time ago. I've tried to stop reviewing clones because it makes knife IP white knights on the internet mad. I reviewed this knife earlier this year and it's actually swell, on par with the Keen in fit, finish, sumptuousness, and it's pretty light too. It's about $100, a good knife for your average showboat. Now the Headesigns Poison. I've had this one for some time now. It does have a compound grind, I know what I said earlier, but the handle really ties it all together like a nice rug to a room. Deploys about as fast, has a much stiffer frame lock though. It's small and about $280. I think this one may also be made by We. Not me, not us, We. Now how about the paramilitary 2? I guess this is technically purple, blurple maybe. I still prefer the deployment on this and the lock to the Keen, but the Keen is frillier looking for people who like to treat yourself. It's lighter too, so it's less noticeable for me in the pocket. I also kind of like the Spyderco spoon clip better from a functional standpoint. I know it's not deep carry. These days a lot of pretty knives need sculpted titanium pocket clips so the social media bros respond with their erections and money. One more this year for me that was a favorite, the Benchmade Fact. More expensive than the Keen, and more importantly 3 times as tactical. I have a secret formula that determines relative tacticalness in anything. Like my CRV is 1.5 times more tactical than Honda Odyssey. Unless the Odyssey was black, the dad had a fuller beard, and an Under Armour shirt. Then the Odyssey is twice as tactical as the Honda CRV. You understand? It's very simple. This is lighter and pointier, has a longer blade, plus who doesn't like an axis lock? Oh, you know what? I see a few hands. If you remember correctly, a good axis lock and a compression lock float my boat more than the other locks. I like them. You don't have to. Most people like them though. Okay, the Keen is a great knife. Probably my 3rd favorite folding knife this year after the Fact. And this really cool dragon-assisted bullshit knife Nick Shabazz sent me. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe the 4th because of the Spyderco Caribbean. Okay, those 2 knives were lucky enough to have seen the Caribbean and the Fact. We're lucky enough to have seen most of my pocket carry this year. The Keen is slicey and functional, and most of all, great to take pictures of. It happens to be cheaper than most titanium and S35 VN in the We knife line, if those are things that are important to you as a knife enthusiast lover. 1 or 2 things to bring up though. My blade centering is a little out of whack now. I don't remember it coming that way. I've only dropped it 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 5 times on the tile. That could be it, I think. Tightening the pivot though did recenter it, so it came loose pretty easy, and I haven't flipped it like a whole lot. Also, I've seen some slight anecdotal evidence on Instagram that blade discolors a little easier than some expect out of a steel like S35 VN, which is normally, fairly rust and corrosion resistant and holds its edge pretty well, which is why people pay $300 for a fucking knife with it. So let's say we're pretty sure it's S35 VN, but that means it's still safe enough to start a rumor with, but maybe not start a thread on blade forums yet how they use fake steel. I don't see that with mine. Mine looks okay. And you know what? Even if it was D2, Chinese D2, I really don't care because it was the purple and not the S35VN. If I wanted to see S35VN, I'd open my junk drawer a little more and stare at my Sebenza. If you like this sort of review, subscribe, pretend there was batoning in this review. I swear it wasn't because this asshole said something on the Buck review. I just didn't feel like it, okay? There's nothing wrong and I don't want to talk about it. Give the video a thumbs up, donate to my Patreon, follow me on Instagram, comment. Thank you for watching.